Bertam Malaysia Securities Berhad publicly chastised Bertam Alliance Berhad and fined its 5 directors a total of 225,000 for violating listing required regulation. The 5 directors are Lim Nyu for 100,000, Chu Bun Chin 50,000, Datuk Muhammad Arsad Sehan and Lim Shaw Kong 25,000, Alfred Lim and Ku Jenman 25,000. Bursa stated today Bertam was publicly chastised for transparency and first announcement violation. Company violated paragraph 9.19 subsection 19 subsection A subsection 2 of the main LR for failing to make an immediate announcement of the winding up order dated on 30 November 2017 against its subsidiary Bertam Development Sendirian Berhad. The winding up order announcement on 11 December 2017 did not include information contained Part C of Appendix 9A. Bertam Alliance Berhad has received a public reprimand from Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad for failing to make timely statement regarding a number of land transactions that happened in 2015 and 2016, as well as for failing to get shareholder permission before one of the acquisition. 7 directors of the company at the relevant period were also admonished, and 2 of them were also fined a total of 75,000 each. In a statement, Bursa claimed that Bertam had neglected to issue timely announcement for the deal involving 26 contiguous pieces of unoccupied agricultural land. Only in 2017 did the announcement take place. Bertam also neglected to receive previous shareholder authorization for one of the transactions that occurred in 2015 and finally did so in 2018.
For Practice 1.1, the matter is a lawsuit filed by Bertam Development Berhad against the company's 5 directors for taking too long to declare the process of winding up. The board should establish the firm's strategic goals, make sure that the required resources are available for the company to achieve its goals, and evaluate management performance according to MCCG 2017. Next, for the Practice 1.2, the business took 6 months starting on September 30, 2017 to disclose it. On April 4, 2018, the corporation finally announced the new winding up procedures. The board appoints the chairman, who is in charge of fostering sound corporate governance procedures, leadership, and board effectiveness. And last, Practice 3.1, the problems arise when Bertam Alliance Berhad refused to pay the enforced fines. The board is in charge of establishing the company's value and standards through the Code of Conduct and Ethics.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hayati binti Kasim. My matric number 1192818. Next, based on MCCG 2017, Practice 4.1 state that independent director make up at least half of the board. Based on the guidance state that the composition of the board should promote impartial and independent debate, assessment, and decision making. A board with a majority of independent directors provide more effective managerial monitoring. Next, we move to the Practice 4.5 based on MCCG 2017. Practice 4.5, the Board of Directors reveal the company's gender diversity policy. The Board of Directors of large company must include at least 30% female director. Based on the guidance, while big companies are obligated to have 30% female director, the board should strive to meet this goal as well. Women's participation in decision-making roles should be expanded beyond board seats to include women in senior management.
Okay, next we move to the next issue. The issue when audit committee does not carry out the responsibility and audit properly. When Bertam Alliance ran the project, 26 nearby vacant agriculture landslot were involved in transactions that Bertam failed to timely announcement throughout the project. Bertam Alliance Audit Committee can be highly careless with the company's audit until there is an issue by announcing for transaction involving agriculture property. This issue shows that Bertam Alliance Berhad did not comply with Practice 8.1 of MCCG 2017. 2017. It stated the audit committee should be well in any of abilities required to carry out the function. Members of Bertam Alliance Audit Committee must be financially literate and have a sufficient understanding of the ins and outs of the Bertam company. It enables them to think critically and from a creative perspective. The last issue connect to Principle C. When the issue of BOD, Bertam Alliance failed to obtain prior shareholder approval on prior of the transaction. Bertam relied solely on administration and failed to carry out their responsibility, which include conducting reasonable investigation and assessment to ensure the needs to disclose transaction and gain shareholder approval and even ratification. Bertam did not comply with Practice 11.1 of MCCG 2017. This practice is stated that board ensure there is effective, transparent and regular communication with stakeholders. Bertam Alliance should not disregard prior shareholder, which is board of director approval of the company's transaction. They should seek approval from prior shareholder first.
According to MCCG 2021, based on Practice 11.1, the internal audit function ought to be efficient and capable of operating independently, according to the audit committee. A corporation can achieve its objective by using an internal audit function to analyze and enhance the efficiency of its risk management, internal control, anti-corruption, whistleblowing, and governance system.